The news at 7 o'clock. 5 men have been convicted for providing illegal streaming services in USA. This has to be probably the first time we've covered an article like this. Some of my previous breaking news were focused on the United Kingdom, but as you can see here, these 5 men were providing illegal access to the content provided by Netflix, by Hulu, by Amazon, and they made millions of dollars providing this illegal access. Now, this story broke today on NBC News, but it is covered by lots of different other press websites. Let's scroll down. So we can see here that these 5 men have actually been convicted by a federal jury in Las Vegas this week for running a large illegal streaming service called Netflix. Do leave me a comment below if you've heard of this streaming service before. I personally haven't. Now, the key thing to understand here is that these people have now already been convicted. So this is not something that's now going to trial or something that needs an investigation. They've already been convicted of this particular crime of illegal streaming. Now, you can see the names here. You have Christopher, Douglas, Philippe, Jared, and Peter. And they started their streaming service back in 2007. So that's like 17 years ago. They've been running this operation. But in some cases, it really takes a long time for the authorities to gather evidence, to gather logs, to find out, who's actually providing this service, to follow the money trail, just so they can gather all of the evidence that they need to finally convict these people committing this crime. It says they will then find illegal copies of content that they downloaded to the Netflix servers, the release said. So it looks like the way the process was working was they had a mechanism of downloading latest episodes, latest movies, latest TV shows onto their servers, which will then restream that content to all of their subscribers. Says that they made millions of dollars providing this streaming content to tens and thousands of paid subscribers. This was according to the Justice Department. Says they reproduce hundreds and thousands of copyrighted television episodes without authorization, amassing a catalog larger than or combined larger than Netflix, Hulu, Vudu, Amazon, and Prime. So very, very large content library. It says that all 5 men were convicted of a conspiracy to commit criminal copyright infringement. So you have to understand that it's one thing creating a free application like Cinema or BT or those ones and providing, access to third-party content. But the thing is, the application is free. Here you have an application or a subscription service where people are actually making money providing illegal access to third-party content. And whenever money gets involved, you can see why the authorities then want to step in and quickly shut down your operation. And this is the shocking thing, guys. So it says if found guilty, one of them will be sentenced to a maximum of 48 years in prison. So, 48 years for, providing streaming services, it just sounds like, comparing that to maybe a murder or a manslaughter or something else, 48 years really does seem to be very, very severe. But I guess from their point of view, maybe they're trying to set an example so other people may be a bit wary or a bit scared trying to start their own third-party streaming operation. Whereas the other guys may face up to 5 years in prison, which seems a bit more manageable. And we can see on the other side, they say that the reason why he may get 48 years prison is because he was actually seen as the group leader and he was additionally convicted of money laundering. So as I'm sure you've seen in some of these other breaking news videos, one of the reasons that people say they get involved in this is to launder money. So not only they're providing illegal access to copyright content, they're also using this scheme or this front to also launder money, which, as you can imagine, is a serious offense. Now, it says that they were charging $9.99 a month for this subscription service, which seems like a fair price. And really, if you look at the prices of these other streaming services like Netflix and Hulu, they definitely charge more than, $10, $15, $20 a month. But in some cases, they also serve you adverts. But the real issue is you can't just sign up to one streaming service, because if you want to watch content from another provider, unfortunately, there's not a single provider that covers everything unless you go to a third-party option. If you want to stay official, you then have to create subscriptions for Netflix, Amazon, Disney Plus, Hulu, where you'll then end up spending hundreds of dollars per month, which I really can't see many people doing. And this is why one of the reasons people look to third-party cheaper options. And here on the Fortune website, it says 5 men have been convicted for running Netflix, a low-cost streaming service. So you can see this is getting a lot of attention. Now, I personally can't remember of any other case in the United States where people were actually convicted If you guys do know, please do leave me a comment below and let me know of another case where people were actually convicted for providing illegal streaming services. As I've said before, it's just unfortunate that these media companies, they just keep on upping their prices. In many cases, they now start adding adverts even into the paid tiers because of those ridiculous prices, and because you can't get the whole catalogue of all the different shows in a single subscription service. This is primarily the main reason why people are looking for cheaper alternatives or look for other third-party options. The only thing I do suggest that if you are going to be looking for third-party options is to, of course, use a VPN. When you use a VPN, all of your data is encrypted. Your ISP can't track you. They can't monitor what you're watching, what applications you're using. And of course, you are changing your IP address. So all of the content, everything that you're accessing, you're not doing it with your IP address. You're doing it with the IP address of your VPN provider. Right now, there is actually a very special offer where you can get total protection for every device in your house, all of your Fire Sticks, all of your Android TVs, your phones, your tablets, your laptops. All of those devices will be covered with a single license. And to get all of that protection at really fast speeds for $2.19 a month, I think it's definitely worthwhile checking out. And it just ensures that you can stay safe and protected whilst you're doing your online streaming activities. So really appreciate your support. Do leave me a comment below. Let me know what you think about these 5 people that have been convicted. And I'll hopefully catch up with you guys real soon. Thanks.